Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In case you guys are new here, my name is Camaro, and what I'm all about is doing Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, crafts and such, anything on a budget. And I also like to incorporate things from Target, Dollar Spot, 99-cent only store, Dollar General, etc. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely hit that subscribe button because I would love to have you be a part of the Stayin to DIY fam. For this video, I have 3 farmers market styled farmhouse DIYs to share with you all using Dollar Tree products. I can't wait to share them with you guys, so let's just get started. For this first project, I'm going to be using 2 of these boxes that are from Dollar Tree. They're from, the Valentine's Day seasonal decor. And I just started by cutting the little straps off because I'm not going to need those. And I knew that I wanted these boxes to be a little bit shorter, so I just needed to decide where to cut. And since these ones already had that outline at the top, I figured, that's like the perfect guide to follow. So I just took my razor blade and I just cut those, followed the lines all the way on each 4 sides of the boxes until that top piece just came right off. And I did the same thing for both boxes. Obviously, I want them to be identical. Here in a second I will show you why I cut the tops off, but for now I just decided that I was going to paint them with the white Waverly chalk paint. So I just gave them both an all over coat of paint. I did 1 coat on the sides and then 2 coat on the front just to make sure that the heart and the Happy Valentine's wording was not showing through. After that I took my brown antique Waverly wax and I just started by distressing each of the sides. I like to put more emphasis on like the corners of certain things, and then I just kind of take whatever is left on my brush and just drag it through the entire piece here and there, and I just do that back and forth until obviously I'm happy with the look. So distressing is always just like personal preference and whatnot, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, so have at it and have fun. So I just distressed all 4 sides of each of the boxes until I was happy with their looks. And then next I'm just going to take these Fresh Flower Market signs, 2 of them, and I'm just going to start by removing the hangers off of there. I'm not going to need those anymore. And then I do take my antique Waverly wax again and distress these signs as well, just to age them and just give them a more like vintage antique look. I personally like that. They are really pretty as is, so if that's not your thing, definitely don't feel like you have to do that. I just thought it would be like a cool kind of added characteristic to add to these signs and that like farmers market, like flower market type of feel. And honestly, I think it turns out kind of cool. I personally like it. And then of course I did that to both of the signs. Next I'm going to be using these wooden plant labels. These are from the 99-cent only store, and I just started by lining up my boxes and then taking the little plant labels and lining them on top of the boxes just to get an idea and a feel of where I wanted them to go. I wanted them to be hanging off the top of the boxes just a little bit, but not too much, so that's why I needed to cut them. So I just made a line on one of them and then used my razor blade to give those a few nice cuts. And then once you cut it enough, you can just bend it back and forth and it should just pop right off, like each piece will pop away from each other. And then I just used that one as kind of like my guide for the other ones. So I just marked all of the other ones according to the first one that I had cut. And then again, I'm just going to be taking my razor blade and like a straight edge to make sure, it's nice and straight, and cutting each of those where I had made that mark. My next step was to take this dark walnut stain by Varathane, and I just gave each of those an all over coat of the stain. I have 10 pieces total for the front and the back of those boxes. After that, it was just time to, line up the boxes and then take the fresh Flower Market sign and line it up with the boxes. I wanted the edge of the sign to be flush with the sides of both of the boxes. So there is a little gap in between, and that's why I decided to put one of the plant labels right in the middle to cover up that gap that's in between those boxes. And then I just started by gluing on the plant labels on the edge, and then that way I could line up the ones on the middle so they were evenly spaced in between those the ones that are on the sides of them. And I just did this first side for you, and then I did the other side off camera for you guys, but it's the same process. So once that was all finished, it was just time to get those fresh flower market signs on. It's kind of a tongue twister, fresh flower market signs. Anyways, so I just needed to decide where I wanted to place these signs, and I decided that I wanted the top of the sign to be flush with the top of the boxes, so that way the plant labels could show through the top, you know, and it looks like a garden fence or, you know, that type of thing. And I did use these pink clamps because my boxes were kind of bowed in the middle, so I just used the clamps to make sure that everything had a chance to kind of adhere, and it kept everything like nice and straight and secure. So once I had both of the signs on, it was just time to add some really pretty flowers to go in the box, and this is how it turned out. How beautiful, you guys. Oh my goodness, I am totally in love. I think it is so cute, so stunning. I love, love, love it. I know I say that about all my stuff, I'm sorry, but I think this one is really, really pretty. I just like the fresh flower market sign on the front. You have like the garden fence that comes through at the top, and then, you know, like some nice bright summer flowers. It's really, really cute. Alright, this next project is so quick and easy. I think you guys are really going to love it. I'm going to be using these little garland pieces. They're like Farmer Market, Stayin' Alive with a little watering can. These are both from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start by removing some of the pieces off of those strands. I was mostly interested in the little garden shovel and then the little garden fork as well. So I just started by cutting both of those pieces off of that first strand, and then I'm going to be cutting the Farmer's Market sign off of the second one. I just thought these would go really well together. So then I busted out this flower garland that is from the 99-cent only store. It was only $1.49. Super cool because I feel like it's so cute. And I just started by kind of getting an idea of how big I needed the wreath. I just put the little Farmer's Market sign in the middle to just, you know, get a size reference, and then I just started wrapping it around using that guide that I had made for myself. And once I was done wrapping it around itself, I just took this floral wire, I cut 4 pieces off, and I just used those to tie, you know, if you think about it like a box type of thing, I guess, you know, 2 at the top and then 2 at the bottom, a couple inches away from each other. I just wanted to keep the wreath nice and secure and together. After that, I just pried off the little hanger piece from the Farmer's Market sign just so I could rework it here in a second once I attach the sign to the wreath. So I just placed it in the middle, and, you know, until I liked it, how the look of it with the little lavender pieces sticking out on the side. Once I was happy, I just took some hot glue and just glued that down to the wreath. Once the sign was adhered to the wreath, I just added a little dab of hot glue on the back and fed that little hanger piece that I took off a minute ago through the back of the sign, you know, and in front of the wreath. Attach it there, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the wreath. But I didn't wrap it too tight. I left like some room at the top of the hanger part. I thought that would be really cute. You can wrap it tight, maybe wrap a couple of pieces of jute twine around there if that's something you wanted, add a little bow. After that, I just took the little garden tools and I glued them like catty corner from each other onto the sign. I liked them kind of at an angle, but feel free to place them wherever you are happy with and whatnot. So, and that was it for this sign, you guys. Here is how it turned out. How cute! I love, love, love this one too. I just really like the greenery. Oh my goodness, the greenery with the pops of purple lavender on there, and then like the little Farmer's Market sign is just way too cute with the little garden tools as well. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Alright, on to the third project. I'm going to be using these longer wooden planks from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to be using the leftover little garland strands, home decor pieces. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. And then I'm actually going to be using a second strand that has the watering can on there as well. So then I just took that wood plank and kind of decided where I wanted to cut it. I made a line and took my razor blade and, you know, made a couple of marks until that wood piece was ready to pop away from itself. And then I just did, you know, another identical piece to the size of the first one that I cut, and then we're going to be using the bottom piece as well. So I'm using the second watering can, so I'm kind of making like a box in the middle of these two watering cans, which is why I needed to cut that wood piece the way that I did. So here I'm taking the second little garland strand and just prying away the rope to get the second watering can that I need. And then after that, I'm just going to kind of, you know, assemble my little box. The bigger piece obviously is going to go on the bottom. I'm just using my hot glue to line everything, well, not line everything up, sorry, glue everything into place, but making sure everything is lined up as I go, just to make sure the box is as straight as possible. So the two smaller pieces go on the side to make that box, and then the watering cans are going to be the fronts and the backs of that box. And I also just made sure to glue the watering cans going in the same direction. Next, I'm just taking my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint those wood planks that I had cut apart to make that box. After that, I'm going to use some of my brown antique Waverly wax, and I'm going to kind of, you know, distress the watering cans. Well, the entire box actually, but I just started with the watering can. I'm just going to distress it just to give it that aged, worn look that I personally like. And like I said before, you don't have to do that if that's not your thing. Definitely keep it as is. Still really, really cute. I personally just wanted to have a more like aged look on it, just to add to that like farmhouse type of feel, I guess. Once I had everything, you know, painted and distressed how I liked it, I'm just taking the garlic strands, oh my gosh, the garland strands, and pulling apart the flower pieces, the flower pieces off of there, the greenery, and making sure they're all separated. Then I'm going to take this foam block, and I'm just cutting it to fit inside of that box, so I just needed to use my razor blade to kind of cut it, you know, until it fit nicely in that box. So once I was able to fit the foam block in there, I just started messing around with those little greenery pieces, kind of just, you know, eyeballing it at first, not really making anything set in stone. I just placed a couple of the pieces in the foam block, and then I was kind of lining up things on the watering cans as well, on the backs of the front one, and then, like, you know, in front of the one on the back. Once I was happy with the placement, then I just started adding my hot glue where need be. So I just wanted to make sure everything was nice and adhered and it was going to stay in place. And I just did that till I was happy with the look. I really wanted this to have like a 3D staggered type of feel. So I thought that would be just a really cool added extra characteristic to this piece. I really loved that feature about this one. So once I had all the greenery pieces in place, I just took these rocks that are from Dollar Tree as well, and I just started adding them to the base. I really just wanted to cover up that foam block because it was still showing through. So obviously I did not want to be, you know, able to see that. So this was my idea, to cover up that foam block. After that, I just started gluing a little bit of like baby's breath to the project, and then my last little step was just to whitewash the front, just to kind of blend everything together, because I personally felt that the pieces from the garland were just a little too bright and a little too you know, colorful and like cartoonish. So I wanted to tone it down a little bit and just add to that like farmhouse feel. So I just whitewashed it and aged them a little bit. And here's how this project turned out. How cool! I love it. I think it is so cool. I mean, it's a little bit different and it might not be for everyone. I totally get that, but obviously I'm just here to give you guys inspiration, ideas, so definitely tweak and make it your own however you see fit. I just think this whole like 3D effect is totally cool. Alrighty, we have made it to the final walkthrough time. Yay! Here again, I know you guys just saw this one, but of course it was the first one I decided to showcase in the walkthrough. But yeah, again, love the 3D, like it's like a staggered 3D type of effect, and then you have like the age on the watering can. Totally cute characteristics. And then this farmer's market wreath, oh my goodness, so cute. Love it. I definitely cannot wait to see which one is your guys' favorites and which one you're eager to make. It's definitely a tough choice for me between the farmer's market wreath and then this fresh flower box. I absolutely love this one. I can't wait to keep this one forever. Maybe change out the flowers for the seasons and different holidays and such. Anyways, guys, if you have made it this far, pick your favorite flower emoji and leave it down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching and being here. I'm so happy to have you a part of the Dine to DIY fam. I'll see you guys next time.